call to order this meeting of the IFEDA. Administrator Anderson, if you could note the members present, note that Commissioner Buller is on a family vacation and not here. I just had my stinking agenda, and then what did I do with it? That's awesome. Okay, first item on the roll call, approval of minutes. So y'all have the minutes from Monday, April 20th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Droba.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nelson. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, we all do it at the same time. Aye. Okay, I know what we're doing now.
That's right. Budget and Finance and IFEDA go. There's no roll call voting. Okay, accounts payable financial reports. Administrator Anderson, do you want to go through that, please?
Briefly, as you can see, in the multimodal district, we have some information listed there. We have $70,842.71 for assets and liabilities, which need to balance out. So you have that, and they're basically cash in the bank. And for the EDA fund, Fund 208, we have $626.73 for cash in the bank. Bremer has, there's a separate account for $47,958.07, and then due from other funds is $180,000, so we have total assets of $408,584.80 on the balance sheet for the EDA fund, and that is June 30th.
Is that, can I ask a question? Is that 180 from the fire truck?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe the payment structure was $45,000 a year for a 5-year term.
Anybody have any questions with that? I would take, do we need a, I take a motion to accept the finances?
So moved.
Okay. Commissioner Droba?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nelson.
I have a question.
Question.
Ken, I just have a question, and going back to this page, the EDA finance page, I remember the $55,000 that was removed from the EDA fund because of the additional monies that came in above and beyond the Voyageurs National Park lease and what we had to pay for the mortgage on that, or to pay back the bonds. Are we going to be in a situation in the next year or so with restructuring the bonds as we have, that we're going to have more money than, and do we have a forecast of what that's going to look like?
Yeah, we have a debt service schedule, and we can compare the previous debt service schedule with the current one, which will have lower principal and interest payments. So there'll be savings each year, and those savings roll into the fund.
Okay, so we'll be able to see what that is in maybe the next meeting, so we'll know.
We can lay it out that way. Not looking at the exact sheet that you have, I don't.
That's fine.
Right here, bud.
Yep, and this next sheet shows the EDA fund, the proposed budget. So
okay.
So that's what that particular sheet shows.
It's important to be mindful that the proposed budget includes our payments from Voyageurs National Park, right? Because we're not taking $1.3 million from the city's treasury. That's including those debt service payments, which is the bond that we just refinanced in February, and then the monies that are coming in, correct?
Yes,
I believe.
It balances out. So
right.
On the charges for service, there's a lease payment that Voyageurs National Park pays to the EDA on an annual basis, and that total you can see is about $3,338,201 proposed for 2021. Was a little bit less than that in 2020, and there's a portion of their payments that change with the cost of living. So Betty's made some accommodations in the handwritten notes there for the 2021 budget. So, yes, we have the money that goes out, and then of course we incur expenses to maintain the property and pay the debt service on
Right.
on that
Right.
property.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion about the budget? Hearing none, those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, carry. We had no claims. We had the reports. Any additional reports?
Well, Mr. President and members of the board, just in the way of reports, I think, so just to lay out the timing, as you all know, by September 30th, the city has to have prepared a preliminary budget and a preliminary levy and submit that to the county auditor on or before the last day of September. So we meet on a quarterly basis, so this is actually our last meeting until October. So I asked staff to prepare a draft budget for 2021 using the same assumptions, updating it for what we talked about, the cost of living adjustment that we have to make with the Voyageurs National Park lease. And so these few pages that were prepared show a draft budget for 2021. And I'm suggesting that, if the council if the commission is comfortable with moving forward as we have in the past, which essentially is moving the money back and forth for the Voyageurs National Park lease, and then we only have about $5,000 budgeted for our annual admin costs, and roughly I think it's $4,250 of that is for the professional fees, for legal fees, and then the rest is admin fees. So we've had the same budget for the last couple of years, and I think we're suggesting that we just move forward. If you want to review it, if you want to have new initiatives or do some things differently, we can do it separately, but if you're comfortable with how we proceeded in the last couple of years, this would be a budget that you could recommend for approval to the city council, and then we'll put it in finished form without the handwritten comments for the Budget and Finance Committee to consider and the council to consider as part of its preliminary approval in September.
So the actual amount, though, that we're getting from the city is $5,000? I mean, that's in the overall budget, that's the budget hit?
That's all we're putting in.
Right.
The EDA operational budget is only $5,000.
$5,000.
Yep, and about the vast majority of that is if we have legal expenses, or the attorney that have to do some follow-up work on a project or a review or something like that, that's where the
Sure.
professional services.
I would make the motion to accept the budget as prepared.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Droba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Deitch. Yeah, I think that's kind of nice to be able to put that to bed. It's been what we've been doing anyway, right?
Yes.
So, any other discussion on that? Okay, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay. Thank you.
And then, Mr. President, just as far as reports are concerned, I did list project updates, and you all are fairly familiar just because of our committee meetings and council meetings, but we do have a 22nd Street grant that was awarded from DEED to the city, and that will allow us that's about 50% of the cost to put in some street, curb and gutter, extend some sanitary sewer and water on 22nd Street, and then there's several businesses that are proposed to develop in there, and we'll have some job creation as well as some job retention, and that's an economic development thing. So I just wanted to make sure it was part of this forum for your information. And then Kelly had alluded in the previous city council meeting that we've got other projects that are still waiting on for some action on the part of the city as well as the applicants, and one of them is the Cobblestone Hotel, who has requested tax abatement assistance, but that's necessary for the statute requires that the city council conduct a public hearing before we would move forward with that, and also the county board if they want to have their county taxes abated. But it's encouraging that we've got some progress moving forward. We'll have some lots available through KEDA for businesses to locate in, and then the hotel will be meeting a lodging need that we have in our area. And I really wish we were further along. We're kind of waiting on them to submit the application materials for the tax abatement process, and we're still waiting on the building plan so that Kelly can look at those. It'll take them roughly take Kelly about 10 days to look at what he needs to, maybe a little bit longer for the state to do the plumbing review and approval. But we'd really like to see it get started now when construction weather is good.
Yes. Thank you. Any other? Okay, well, first off, next meeting will be Monday, October 19th, after the second regular city council meeting. And is there any other business for the IFEDA? Hearing none, I will call this meeting adjourned.